Eala draws 18-year-old former nemesis to start the Qatar Open. Eala is set for a tough path in the Qatar TotalEnergies Open 2026. The Filipina ace is in the main draw of the Qatar Open, the first WTA 1000 of the year, and will start things off with former nemesis Teresa Valentova. Through the February 2nd WTA rankings, Valentova is number 44, just ahead of Eala, who is currently enjoying her career-high ranking of world number 45. The two youngsters also have recent history, with the 18-year-old Valentova beating Eala in the first round of the Japan Women's Open last October, 6-1, 6-2. Valentova is showing fine form to start the 2026 season, making it to the round of 16 of the Adelaide International as a qualifier, and the round of 32 in the Australian Open before losing to eventual champion Elena Rybakina. For the Qatar Open, Valentova is the top-ranked qualifier and won 2 matches to proceed to the main draw. Meanwhile, Eala is likewise enjoying a relatively solid start to the season, with her most recent result being a quarterfinals run in the WTA 500 Abu Dhabi Open. The Qatar Open main draw is already underway on Sunday, with the Eala-Valentova scheduled for Monday. When the past shows up on center court, Eala and the first-round reckoning in Doha. The draw did not whisper its intention. It announced it. It was on the board at the Qatar Open, black letters against white, clean and merciless, pairing Eala with an 18-year-old name she knew too well. Not a stranger. Not a rising star she had only studied on video. A former nemesis. The kind of opponent who doesn't just live in scouting reports, but in muscle memory. Tennis has a way of doing that. It doesn't forget. Doha, with its polished calm and desert light, felt like an unlikely place for unfinished business. The city hums softly during tournament week, luxury cars gliding past palm-lined roads, practice courts buzzing under a pale sun, the sea looking indifferent to everything. Yet beneath that calm sat a first-round match heavy with history. For Eala, the draw was less a beginning than a reminder. She had been here before, not in Qatar, but in moments like this. Moments when the sport reaches back and taps you on the shoulder, asking whether you are still the same player who once struggled, once fell short, once walked off court wondering how a match slipped away. The opponent was younger now, still officially a teenager, but that had always been part of the story. Back then, they were both kids chasing futures far bigger than their frames. Their early meetings were sharp and uncomfortable, matches where margins felt cruel and lessons came fast. Wins were rare, losses were loud. Nemesis is a dramatic word, but in tennis, it often just means the player who exposed you before you were ready. Eala has spent years becoming ready. From the academies of Europe to the grind of the Pro Tour, her game has evolved. Stronger legs, heavier forehand, a serve that no longer apologizes. But more than anything, her patience has grown. Where she once rushed points, she now constructs them. Where she once fought herself, she now breathes. Still, draws like this test more than technique. The Qatar Open doesn't care about backstories. It opens the gates and lets players walk in carrying whatever they haven't put down. For Eala, that meant stepping onto court knowing the other side of the net would feel strangely familiar. The timing of the swing, the bounce of the split step, the quiet confidence of someone who once had the upper hand. Former nemeses have a way of distorting time. One rally can feel like a flashback. The week leading up to the match was businesslike. Practice, recovery, routines. But beneath the rhythm was awareness. This wasn't just about advancing to the next round. It was about measuring distance. How far Eala had come from those earlier losses, and whether growth shows up when it matters most. The beauty of tennis is also its cruelty. There is nowhere to hide. When the first ball is struck in Doha, there will be no juniors, no past rankings, no old narratives to lean on. Just 2 players and a scoreline that resets to love all. The crowd may not know the history, but the players will feel it in every exchange, especially in the tight moments. 30-all, breakpoint, the first tiebreak. This is where rivalries quietly change shape. For the 18-year-old across the net, this match represents proof that the past still counts. For Eala, it is something else entirely. A chance to rewrite the meaning of those early defeats. Not erase them, because losses are teachers, but reframe them as chapters, not conclusions. There is a Satan courage in meeting your old measuring stick again. Win or lose, the encounter speaks to where Eala now stands in her career. She is no longer the promising junior learning harsh lessons. She is a professional who understands that progress isn't linear and closure isn't guaranteed. Sometimes the sport hands you the same test again, just to see how you answer this time. As the Qatar Open begins, the draw has already delivered its drama. Under the Doha lights, with the desert air cooling and the court waiting, Eala will face not just an opponent, but a version of herself she has outgrown. And that may be the most compelling opening round of all, not because of rankings or hype, but because tennis, once again, has asked a simple, difficult question.